So long, Bowser.
Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Buddy the Detective, released in 1934. It's the 88th in the series and it's directed by Jack King. There's no restoration available for this one, and it's a shame because this one actually looks pretty good. Even if you don't find this one funny or anything, it's definitely got a nice vibe to it, but hopefully one day we'll see something. So in case you haven't seen this one, it's another really strange Buddy short. I mean, just about all of them are really strange, but in any case, you've got this mad villain who loves playing this really gloomy music. He manipulates Cookie by simply looking her up in the phone book and calling her to come and play the piano for him, even though he can play piano himself. The dog alerts Buddy that Cookie's in trouble, somehow, and Buddy has a detective outfit. Doesn't do much detective work, but he goes to this villain's home and he explores around, sees a few rejects from Disney's The Skeleton Dance, and goes up against the villain. So, really weird short. So first up you're going to see is a re-edit of the original commentary I did before I had to take that down, and then you hear some new thoughts from me. So without further ado, let's get into it. Look at that opening. That is fantastic. This cartoon will look absolutely incredible once it's finally restored. But, I mean, look at the mood. Look at the animation on that. I mean, it's fantastic. But this frog actually reminds me of a relatively obscure 1930s animated character called Flip the Frog, which was done by Ub Iwerks, who animated for Disney, especially on Steamboat Willie. So there you go. If you have a spare moment, definitely give those a look. They're very, very interesting ones to watch. But, I mean, look at the shadows on that. And we got the bad guy here, the mad musician voiced by Billy Bletcher. And he does a voice that's a little different than what you would normally hear him do, like with Papa Bear and, just a really deep voice. Can't really get my voice that deep. Well, what do you want? Suppose I could try. And I just like this villain, just the mad musician, and he just wants to hypnotize people to play this particular song for him. And if the song's too cheery, he doesn't like it. It's very weird, very, very weird. But like I said, this cartoon just looks absolutely amazing, and it's quite funny too. See, that's how you know he's staying, by the way. The Dalio Bleat, the mad musician, escapes. And I just like how, of course, it opens up the book, and we had Cookie there, which is Buddy's girlfriend. And, of course, the name he picks, just Cookie. So she's like, what? She's Madonna? Or something, just one name. Just has one name. And then we have the dog in the background there, who just, in some shots, just reminds me so much of Pluto. And, again, it's just, I don't think much of it. I don't think they'll try to copy Disney or anything, especially since Pluto was only now being part of the Mickey Mouse series. And what's also interesting, well, is that wipe. See, there's a few wipes in here to keep an eye out for. See, again, you don't see that kind of wipe in another Buddy cartoon, at least up until now. So I thought it was interesting. And is that a fishbowl? Whatever that was, but and it's funny, we don't establish Buddy as any detective, and yet he's got that detective's coat in the background, which he puts on now, and now he's a detective. Oh, alright, fair enough. And look at the shadows in this scene here. Just amazing. And the light, you got the candle in the back. Just fantastic. I know I'm praising this thing, the light and the shadows in this one a lot, but no, really. That really took me by surprise. There's another wipe there. Buddy is only used a little bit in the context of a whole cartoon, because he's not really that interesting of a character. It's a similar thing to with the old Mickey Mouse cartoons, where the animators and writers and that were thinking, well, what do we do with this character? He's just not really that interesting. And this is probably the best way to do it. Just have him play off all this wild scenarios, like with this skeleton just having a drink. That was pretty good. And look at the other skeletons in the back. They're just looking on. Maybe the skeletons are scared. Pretty amusing. Brave dog. Well, he just wants his bone, I guess. Somehow had a crutch lying around, and this is pretty interesting, just with the steps, just... I don't know how that works, but it does, apparently. And I like the fact that it just smacks him on the head, of course, but I like that there is an actual ending to this, and it actually ties in with the rest of the film. And that's just pure Looney Tunes right there. Just make another door and just go in. Kick him in the butt. It's a pretty entertaining fight here. But yeah, I mean, obviously Buddy's going to win here. Let's not kid ourselves. And as I said, it actually matches with the rest of the story. This mad musician hates certain kinds of music, and, you know, he gets trapped here. And what do you think they're going to play? Yeah, the music he doesn't like at all. So those were the original thoughts, and revisiting this one in a, I guess, slightly better print than I had before. It's only marginally better. Again, I hope they restore this one properly. Because, yeah, the mood in this short is really, really good. Yes, Frank Tashlin would do this sort of thing a lot better in the case of The Stuttering Pig, but as an early effort, this is pretty good. I quite liked it. And by pure coincidence, by the way, Billy Bletcher voices the villain in both of those shorts, so there you are. But let's take a look at this short and go through a few things that I missed or any extra information that I didn't go through. So, in case you were wondering what song was played, it's Prelude OP3 number 2 in C sharp minor by Sergei Rachmaninoff. And I probably butchered the name, but anyway, that is what it is. And that establishes the mood quite nicely, I must say. And that's sort of the theme in this short, that this villain likes this kind of music. And I can't blame him. Music's quite good. Now, the first upbeat song that plays, which establishes that our main villain here hates upbeat songs, is Shake Your Powder Puff, and that would end up being a Merry Melody short pretty soon, and I'll certainly review it once I get back to it. When we see the frog, he plays the song Amaryllis. And I didn't notice last time, but I noticed it now, that he flips the page of the songbook, but he wasn't looking at it anyway. So, I don't know, I think he was just toying around with this villain, and he just ends up randomly jumping into a lake painting. But it does kind of make you question, why did the villain even have that song in the first place, assuming the frog was even looking at the songbook? Anyway, or maybe the frog just wasn't looking at the songbook. I don't know. I'm not going to look into it too much, but I think it's funny as a result. And we see the Napoleon picture, and that's appropriate given the whole Napoleon complex. The Napoleon complex is a thing associated with people who have gone crazy. Yeah, that's the reason why you'd have Napoleon there. And we see a nice, simple, very quick scene of Cookie learning about the Mad Musician. And we see the Dalio bleat, as I mentioned in the commentary track. And in case you were wondering, bleat is what a sheep does. The whole bad thing. That's properly called a bleat, but anyway. I'm sure a lot of you learned that in school, but for the few that haven't, well, there you are. I've always loved the cartoon logic of being hypnotized over the phone like that. Sure, why not? As long as it drives the plot forward, I guess. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting. And I like how Buddy just seemingly sits in his chair only looking at pictures of Cookie. I won't go too in-depth into that, but it's kind of a weird thing. He's just in a chair in the middle of the room looking at her photos. But anyway, alright. And somehow he figures that Cookie's in trouble through the picture being shown and some barking. The dog could just be simply saying, hey, I miss Cookie, can we go see her? He just immediately goes, oh, Cookie's in trouble, and he puts on a detective clothes. Assuming the worst, I guess, at all times. Now, I like how Cookie, once she's kinda, sorta under control of this mad musician, she just ends up playing the song Hey Sailor by Sammy Fain, and we get that trademark Jack King crazy mouth close-up. He seems to be doing less and less of these as time goes on, but I'm always glad whenever he does do that, and I wish he did a lot more. That's why Buddy's Bearcats is one of the greatest cartoons ever made, because of how many close-ups he's done. I kid, of course. If you want to know why I keep referencing Buddy's Bearcats, go check out that review. And we get more cartoon logic, how Buddy uses a flashlight through a magnifying glass and somehow it turns into a blowtorch. Yeah, why not? Why not? Again, it moves the plot forward. It's got to get through the door somehow. And the spider gag, more cartoon logic, but it looks great. And again, this is why I would love to have this cartoon restored, because a lot of the visuals in this one are really good, especially that spider gag. And the skeleton bit reminds me of the Silly Symphony, the skeleton dance, but why does this skeleton randomly go out into the rain with a broken umbrella? We never know because the cartoon doesn't tell us, but okay, sure. The mad musician lives with some weird company, I guess. But anyway. And one way to solve a story problem to get to a second floor of a house that seemingly has stairs somewhere. But anyway, the grandfather clock just knocks Buddy's butt up to the second floor. Sure, why not? Why not? And more cartoon logic. We can't get through a door, so let's just remove a door and put it next to the locked one, and you can enter that way. And we get a double butt joke. And I'm assuming that Jack King would have enjoyed having a scene with Buddy falling on his butt. So, I mean, who wouldn't, right? I don't think any of the directors enjoyed working on Buddy shorts, but anyway. But how strong is Buddy just to be able to throw the villain like he does in the final scenes? So he doesn't really do much detective work in this one, by the way. He's just got the suit and he just figures out where the mad musician is, and that's pretty much it. He just bumbles through everything else, but anyway, whatever. Whatever. And we hear the same scream at the end, which is the same scream heard in Buddy's Bearcats. So, nice reuse of audio, of an audio file there. But looking at this one looks great and will look even better once it's restored. It's funny, but it's more funny in a really weird way. This is a very, very bizarre cartoon, much like Buddy's Bearcats. For that reason, I'll give it 7 out of 10. It's one of the better Buddy shorts, but not because it makes Buddy to be a great character or anything. It's just a very strange short and one that's worth watching for that reason, and the mood of the short itself and the music. But in any case, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and until next time, take care.